All right. This is it. You've already taken care of your core. You've taken care of your lower limbs. Now it's time to take care of your hands, your feet, your head, and your neck. Here are some examples of what I have. And as you can see, I like a lot of wool and I buy a lot of things, but I was very, very heavy into sledding with my snowmobile all over the place. I would do that every day during the winter if I can. Ice fishing, I just love ice fishing. So through the years, I gathered all this stuff, right? And so we're going to go through that today. Now, as far as my feet goes, I have a lot of pairs of woolen socks, base layer socks, and a lot of wool socks. Okay, and I'm telling you, there's people that just want to grab a couple for themselves sometimes, but I don't leave these out of my sight. Now, it's all wool. These are also a very tight knit wool, 85%, 15% nylon. And as you can see, they're also rated to 50 below zero. These are brand new, just bought them. All right, I know they're so nice and soft, and so I can't wait to use these. Very nice, and I'll bet you they're very warm. But they're also stamped 50 below. Okay, so I got 4 of them. Did I need to buy them? Probably not, as you can see. But sometimes you just have to have them. So anyways, these are going to be used this winter, and I'm going to enjoy them. And these are my main woolies right here for my socks. Very thick. I'm telling you, very thick. And as you can see, I like big socks. Halfway up my leg. Goes right to my calf. That's what I like. Keeps me nice and toasty. So when I have I have my base layer on, and then I have my mid layer on, then I could put my base layer socks on. Then I put these on, and I'm telling you, I'm good to go. So you got to protect your feet. Okay, let's just slide this aside and talk about this. So your feet's no different than the rest of your body, right? If you have a lot of heavy wools and you've got them on your feet, then you got insulated boots to accommodate these socks, by the way. Your boots have to accommodate these socks. So you need them a couple sizes bigger, your boots. And you got to wick the moisture off your feet as well, right? So these are also wicking socks that I have. They're not dress socks. They're for winter, and they're wicking. I got a few pairs. I got about 3-4 pairs of black, 3-4 pairs of grays, and I always have them on. Then I put my woolies on. Yes, it adds warmth, but if I start to sweat, I can take these off, throw them aside, let them dry out, put on another pair, or whatever. When I leave the house, I always have 2 pairs of these and 2 pairs of my wools. I always do. That way, if something happens, if I fall through a creek bed or a swamp, and I get my boots wet and everything's soaking wet. I got my socks and my base socks, and I'm good to go. All I need to do after that is create a fire to dry out my insoles and my boots and stuff like this, but I won't freeze. These here are also wool socks. They're not as thick as the other ones because the other ones are homemade. Okay, these are military, 100% wool. Can't go wrong there. Very inexpensive. $40 pair, I think I bought, something like that. They were new and issued, and I bought 40 pair. I don't think I'll run out, and I don't think I need any of the other woolen socks because these are nice and warm. Due to my history with snowmobiling and ice fishing, I like to keep my winter boots as close to underneath my knee as possible. That way they're nice and high. I make sure that they got a wool insert. I make sure they got wool soles. And I make sure that the boot is pretty well waterproof. Okay? Because when I'm out and about on the lake or sledding or doing anything, I want to make sure I'm nice and toasty warm. I don't go for style. I don't go to look good. When I go, I'm warm. That's it. Okay? And that's why I'm particular when I buy my boots. Now, as far as everything else, that's going to be my gloves and my hats and my neck. You got a few ways to go. So let's just start with the neck. That's all I want is to keep something on my neck, okay? Not my face or my head. So I got neck gaiters. Okay. They're nice, they're warm, polyester and acrylic. Very nice. They're small, they keep tight, and they're good. You pull them up, stays right on your neck, and for some of yous out there, you got to get used to that because you might feel constricted. You might feel like someone's grabbing you by the throat. But you can stretch them, like it stretches very easily. Like check that out, you know what I mean? And that's 2 pairs I'm stretching. 1 pair would even stretch more. So it's not going to be that tight. It's tight this way, but not this way, right? But you got to get used to wearing neck gaiters. There's some people out there that just can't have something on their throat. I used to be one of them. High school. But once I started getting out and about, I learned to like these a lot. So you got your different types. Then you have your full type, like this. It's a tube. You can hold it in your hands. That's all fleece. You can hold it in your hands if you want. Keep it in your pockets. Warm up your hands. Or you can put it over your head. And then once you pull it over your head, you can warm your neck, keep it all down here. Or you can grab the back of it and pull it over the top of your head and have this opening right here for like your face. Okay? These are nice. This one here is very warm. I love fleece for something like that. This is also a neck gaiter. It's big. It was knitted for me from a special person. 100% wool, very stretchy. When I was sledding and it was minus 30, minus 35, and you could hear everything crack because it's so cold, I loved this. But if it gets any warmer, I'm telling you, I can't handle it. It's just too hot. All right? So, I'll always have it. I'll never get rid of it. But if I know that I'm going out somewheres, ice fishing or whatever, and I know we're going to get into some wicked cold temperatures, between, let's say I go from between minus 25 to minus 35 or whatever, this is in my pack. I got no problem with it. If I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. That's a good combination right there. Neck gaiters. Gotta have some. Trekking out is worrying about your neck and your shoulders a lot. Get something here with the fleece and then the light part for your head, and I'll tell you, that's a nice garment right there. You can keep that one for when you're sleeping. It'll keep you nice and warm. All right. Face masks with the toques. I got a lot of them. They're all wool. Every one of them. They're all wool. Thin slit. These are wool. I like them. They're good. But I find a lot of times that when I'm trekking through the bush or whatever, that the facial parts or the eyes and nose and all that, they shift around my face, when I'm all bundled up, and I don't like that. Sometimes my eye gets covered or my mouth is over here and stuff like this. So I don't wear these as much anymore. My face masks. I have them. They're good. This one's a very, very heavy, very thick, and sometimes I have a hard time wearing this because it's way too warm. But this is a good one. For if you just want, for your head, if you just want to cover your ears, you can wear one of the light balaclavas, and then you can use your earmuffs, okay, polyester earmuffs, and put it over top of your balaclava, and it'll keep your ears nice and warm. Your toques, I have a few of them that I like. This one again is very thick. This one's double lined. Double lined. This one double lined. Thin slit. Gotta love your toques. Gotta keep your head. You lose a lot of heat from your hands, your feet. You lose a lot of heat from the back of your neck, your head. Now, you've got to control that loss. So the only way to do that is with a headpiece. Even if it's just a fleece beanie. Like I got, these are beanies that I have, which is very nice and small, very light, but I'll tell you, very nice and warm. And then when you're trying to vent the heat from your body, the first thing you do is remove your gloves, put them in your pocket. The next thing you do is you remove your headgear, right? So your beanie folds up nice and small, and you can stick that right in your pocket, keeps it nice and warm, and then your body can start to cool down again, especially when you open your jacket or you open underneath your armpits, and then that way you're venting. Works good. Always good to have a beanie with you at all times. And you can use your beanie also when you double layer your hat. So your toques and a beanie is your double layer, right? Another balaclava, okay. This is all fleece. That is so soft on your face, it's unbelievable. It's got a big neck. It's got the shoulder piece on it. It's got the built-in balaclava right here. Okay, going over your head. Oh, very, very nice and soft. Stretchy. It's got the mouthpiece on it. All right. This one here also has the filter. It's even got a built-in filter for when you're breathing, and let's say you're in a situation where it's dusty or there's chemicals or whatever it might be. It's got a built-in filter. It's just a design that came with the headset, so I had it. Now, if you notice, that's the top of my head, and this has got like a hood. See? And I use that a lot when I'm out and about in the bush. Great piece of kit. A wool hat, insulated wool hat. This is a nice wool hat. You can unbutton it and unroll it, and it's your ear flaps, and you can take these and button it underneath your chin. Okay, that's a cool hat, and that's nice and warm. I love this thing. I use this mostly around town. I don't use it too much in the bush. I got just too much other stuff. But when I'm going around town or visiting or whatever, I wear this hat. Very warm, very nice hat. Now, so we covered the feet, covered the head, cover your hands. These are just inserts, and it's it's what do you call that? Fake wool, acrylic, polyester, fake wool type material. Does it say it exactly what it is? Yeah, 100% acrylic. But I'll tell you something. They feel good and they're warm. When you got big mitts and you got these inserts, they're nice and warm. Okay, now these ones here are wool. That's acrylic and this is real wool. All right. I always keep these with me, but only one pair, either or, because when I'm wearing my big mitts, if something happens and they get wet or whatever, I can pull out the insert and put this in. And this is also good for when you're setting up camp, you're around the camp and you're stationary and you're just a little cool on your hands. Then you put these on and you're good to go. These son of a guns are heavy duty. I have 3 pairs here. There's a lot of names of what this is, but it's nice against the cheek. So when you're out there and your cheek is whatever, it's getting cold or whatever, easy to warm up your face. You know what I mean? Or clean the sweat off your eyebrows or whatever, right? I don't use that as a snot rag. Like a lot of people think they're for. Anyways, they got the nice wool liner. It snaps in place. You can pull them out. And they're warm. Very, very, very warm. And I've been using that ever since. But I like them so much that, and you can see I use them. May not look like it, but yeah, I do use my mitts. I got another pair, and then these ones here are very warm, and that's my spare, because I never know when they're going to run out with them or stop making them. And again, this one has got the quilted material, just like my quilted pants and my other insulated layer, okay, or it's inside my jackets. That's the same material. So I just had to have it. You know what I mean? Works good. You can use just this itself, or you can use the whole mitt. But these, when you have them on and you're wearing them, when you have them, they stay there the whole time they're on, and they're very nice. These here are also horse leather. Very soft, very nice. And yes, they're big, but they go up to my elbow or pretty close to my elbow, and they're nice and toasty. But even though I have these, I still like my my fingerless gloves. Okay, now when I'm using my fingerless gloves, I use that for my my fine details. I'm gonna have to trim that off. Like if I'm working with my knife, doing some splitting or doing something, and I need my fine motor skills with my fingers, I'll use these. And then if it gets too cold, now I got a mitt. They're very cheap, very, very cheap. Now these is a different story. These are also fingerless gloves, but they're merino wool. I forget what the weight is on these, but they go up quite a bit. They go up past my wrist. Very light, very warm, very, very warm. And you could do your fine skills again with these, and if your hand gets cold, it's no big deal. You can still just put them in your mitt, and you can keep them in your mitt. Then you got to do something, take it off, you got your little gloves, right? If I were you guys, I would invest in a few pairs of these and keep them with you at all times. Keep one on your hand and one in your pack. You'll not go wrong. Fingerless gloves. All right, merino wool. Whenever you have a screw jacket or some kind of jacket that has a hood on it and it's zippered in, and you know it's wear and tear on the coat and the coat becomes no more good, unzip the hood, keep the hood. Like this hood is like brand new, okay, brand new hood. And it used to be off of one of my old Dakota jackets that I had for work, zippered. Well, that Dakota jacket, I'm telling you, it's seen its it's seen its days. But I kept the hood anyways, and the hood's great for myself because even though I do have jackets that don't have a built-in hood, then I'll use this as my hood. Okay, that's it. And then I got my jacket on. Keeps my head warm. If you're sleeping and you don't have your wool hats or whatever, well then you could put this on while you're sleeping to keep your head warm. So anyways, that is it for layering. A lot of people say, oh, you got to have 3 layers, you got to have 4 layers, you got to do this, you got to do that. But they never talk about your feet, your hands. Some of them talk about your neck, but they don't talk about your head. And they leave that out. They only talk about your core or your legs. But you gotta think about your feet, your fingers, your ears, just as much as everything else, because you don't want to get frostbite. Again, with your base layers, always start off cold when you're trekking, and as you warm up, you'll feel good and you can ventilate. But if you get too cold, you can always stop and put something on, or if you get too hot, you can stop and take something off. But that's up to you to monitor your core temperature and to monitor your evaporation of your moisture. So anyways, thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by, and you guys take care.